What's up guys, Private Tommy here, bringing you some Hogs of War gameplay on the PS1. Now, Hogs of War is a game I've been meaning to do for a while in my Retrospect series. And for anyone who's new to my channel, in Retrospect is essentially where I'll go back to sort of older games, mainly the PS1 sort of era, and create sort of a 6 to 8 minute montage-ish gameplay on the game, say what it's all about, say what I like about it, say what I don't like, just generally give my thoughts on the game. So here's Hogs of War. And I know a lot of people requested this from the previous In Retrospect video too. When I introduce Hogs of War to people, I always use the comparison of the game Worms, which is a game that a lot of people have played. So Worms is basically a 2D turn-based strategy game. I think it's for all platforms, but it's pretty old. And this, in my opinion, is pretty much the first attempt at doing a 3D version of Worms. There is a Worms 3D made by Team 17, but I think it was a bit later than this. And to be honest, there probably is other similar turn-based strategy games that I just don't know about, but I'm not too experienced in the genre, so really it's this and Worms for me. I hear him play some multiplayer, and I get absolutely slaughtered by this guy with a bazooka. But I'm going to go into what this game's all about in a sec. So I thought I'd show you the multiplayer just to start with. And multiplayer is a lot different to the single player. I'm really not a big fan of the multiplayer, because it sort of lacks depth, and there's no sort of promotion or objectives or anything. It's just wipe out the other team. I know that's pretty much what Worms was like, but I don't know, I feel like Worms did it a bit better. But I'll go into the single player in a bit, because that's really where the sort of the beauty of the game lies. Just going to show you a bit of cattle prodding on this guy here. No, sorry, I think I switched to the machine gun, but what you do is you have an army of 8 pigs, and you choose 5 of them to be in battle at any given time. In my opinion, that's a bit of a weird thing to do, because you never really want to use your promotion points on the 3 remaining ones, but yeah, at least you got them in reserve if you want to.
You're going to be court-martialed. There's never been a worse general in charge of the Reds.
That's another great thing about this game. The voice acting is pretty hilarious. All the pigs tend to say something when they attack or when they die, and you got a bit of narration going over the top as well. I forget the comedian's name, but it's some English comedian. Rick something, I think that might be it. But yeah, anyways, here's the single player. My team is called Scro Romo. I genuinely don't know what that means. My housemate came up with it, so feel free to invent your own definition in the comments section below. But I'm just going to promote Lil John here, and what it is you get your 8 grunts to start with, and believe me, it did take me a while to get that joke, but they have no specialisations, so you get your grenades, your bayonet and your rifle, that's it. All pretty low damage basic weapons, so this is the single player by the way. All the grey area is stuff that my team controls, and you essentially work through the map, and where the coloured flag is represents the team that currently holds it. So in this example, I am attacking the Americans. But yeah, you have all these different roles, and there's 4 different paths you can choose. There's espionage, there's engineer, there's medic, and there's heavy weapons, or heavy gun, or whatever it's called. But what you tend to really do is have one specialised in each role, and then another in whatever you want, just so you have sort of a variety of things to do. This guy parachuting in here is my secret agent, Mr. S, the spy. Mr. S has stuff like dynamite and a sniper rifle, all sort of very kind of specialised weapons, and pickpocket, some pretty interesting stuff in there. But then you've got the heavy weapons, which tends to get stuff like bazooka and mortar, the kind of long-range explosive kind of stuff. Medics do exactly what they say on the tin. They can heal up their teammates with magic healing hands, healing darts, medicine balls. They can do a bit of damage with rifle bursts and tranquilizer darts as well, so they're not all purely defensive. Engineer tends to be the much more explosive one. Not so much long range, but you get the likes of, you know, a shotgun for close range, which actually has incredible knockback, which is pretty useful. You get your mines and your TNT as well, and grenades, but all kinds of different explosives to work with, so it's a pretty useful class. Especially against the likes of these, the tanks. In this particular mission, which is surprisingly hard I found out, you've got to actually destroy all these enemy tanks for a bonus promotion point, and destroy all the enemies at the same time, so what these promotion points are, I thought I should probably add, are every time you complete a level you get 1 promotion point. Every time you conquer an island you get 5 promotion points as a bonus. And then there's hidden promotion points within levels as well. So for this particular level, I get an extra promotion point for wiping out all those enemy captured tanks there. You know, I hopped into one of them, but I'm not really sure if that counts as me destroying it or not, but I forget what happens in the end. We'll see anyway. But basically you get an extra promotion point for destroying those tanks. And in every single level you get another promotion point if you manage to complete the level with all your pigs surviving. And on this level that is a lot harder than it sounds, believe me. Did take me a few attempts. And here I'm going to use an airburst on these tanks to try and destroy them, even though I'm sitting in one of them right now. But yeah, the game in general, there's really not too many issues with it, as I can see. Like, one of the things that does bother me about the game is this kind of rifle mechanic with the sway and stuff, but I guess that's for balancing issues. The only other thing I can really think of is that sometimes the movement is a bit kind of clumsy, and, you know, especially when you're climbing up slopes, you can misjudge what's climbable and what isn't, and end up kind of, like, slipping down into water and drowning, but yeah, for the most part, it's a pretty glitch-free game. It's really enjoyable to play, actually. But like I said, the single player is really where it's at. The multiplayer sort of lacks depth to a certain extent, but the single player is absolutely amazing. There's, what, 20 missions? 25 maybe? But you go through each of them and you get kind of a mission brief beforehand saying what it is you have to do and hints on what you'll get, you know, promotion points for, that kind of thing. And essentially just killing all the pigs in each one with different objectives on the way. But they're all different scenarios, which makes it interesting. Like, I'll give you an example. There's one particular level early on where there's a few of your pigs in the middle, and all around you there are cliffs with snipers around them, and you've got to find a way to take them down from there. Oh, and by the way, if you notice any discrepancies in this gameplay, that's probably because this is taken from 2 separate attempts of this level. It took a few tries to get the perfect run, what can I say? Knife this guy for the victory, Mr. S there with the stealthy shank with the knife, to finish off the poor wounded little pig. So yeah, that is essentially Hogs of War in a nutshell. Very good game, definitely worth trying out if you haven't already. And for the next games in the Retrospect series, I've got a few in mind already, but once again, feel free to leave suggestions. A lot of the ones suggested are the Jack games, so I'll probably look over those at some point. Just need to wait till I go home for that. I'm going to be kind to Sulin here and give her a few promotion points, but other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully the gap between this one and the next one won't be so long as the previous gap, but in any case, I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.